So one thing you might want to do is just work on your pencil skills and work some tone and some texture into it. So if you can see, I've started putting the darkest tones in. I'm going to build them up. I've drawn the detail in. Then I'm building up dark tones and dark areas. Now I've not shown you the reference material, so you're just going to have to roll with me for a minute. And I'm looking at where the little marks and surfaces are into it. Now here, this section was actually looking like it was running away from me, like going downwards and coming up again. So I've put marks into there to suggest that shape. If something's flat, you might put marks in to suggest it's kind of got a flat surface. Can I remind you, Bart, this is an outline. So thinking what we've said about Bart, I'm beginning to work the outline and the edge together. I'm going to just do a little bit of it up here, so it's only a little bit of work to essentially blend the edge and the line together, so the outline is lost into the image, just becomes the edge of the image. It no longer has that quality of a line, a solid line. If you've done it harder, you could take a rubber to it and just lighten it up. In this case, I could probably just do enough blending in just to take it into the image, working the tones together. Looking very carefully at the mark making, don't make it up. Look at the surface qualities. I've started to work with pencil crayons. I don't have a fancy set of pencil crayons here. I've just got a range of sort of supermarket type pencil crayons. So I don't have an orange and I'm doing baked beans, so you might think I'm going to come unstuck, but no, because I've started shading with red. Notice I'm putting tonal range into it, into the background, suggesting the beans. Now quite a few of you drew beans along the way, and I said they weren't particularly regular. You just did shapes that are a bit like beans. Notice how regular the baked bean shapes actually are. Now can you see how I'm layering the yellow over the top of it, and it's beginning to give it that orange colour. Now I'm going to do a little bit more work. I'm going to put a little bit of blue or purple, probably purple, into the dark areas to push them back a little bit further. So you see how I'm using the colours that I have to hand. Purple is the opposite of yellow, so it looks quite good as we're pushing those oranges back down. So I'm creating a little bit of depth now and suggesting there's layers of beans going down. In a moment I'll come back to you when I've just looked at my reference material because it's on my phone. Right, it seems the main part of the light is hitting from this top surface, so this is the area I'm going to have to treat with the most light. So you see how I'm lightly doing some shading work into them, softly blending. I'm not going heavy handed, I'm working very, very subtly. And because they're shiny and wet, they've got quite a high gleam on one particular side of them. So I'm going back, reaching over to get my yellow again. Building up the yellow into them. Now I might go back in with the red again now, because I'm going to let the colours come and go. Obviously a bit of orange would be quite helpful into this area. You see how I'm beginning to build up. I work some more dark tones into the background, so I'm working on the object and the background, to and fro, backwards and forwards. I don't want to put a heavy outline in. But remember, this is about you learning about how to control materials, so you can take a risk. I've gone quite hard with the complementary blue there. Blue is complementary to the orange, but I quite like it. It's beginning to bring that little bean a little bit further forward. So I could end up just doing some skill-based drawing, experimenting with pencil crayons or pencil. Right, I've started working on one with some felt tips. So I've got a sort of nutty range of old felt tips here. The nibs of them aren't particularly great, some of them are running out a bit, but again, a bit like I was doing with the pencil crayons, I'm just building up, looking for the highlight areas on them. Now if you compare it to the pencil crayon, you cannot get the same subtlety. I'm going in with a different one entirely. It's a bit lighter, quite a pink colour, but works quite nicely. I did have the pen lid in my mouth then if I sounded a bit strange. So you can still build it up. It has a bit more pop art kind of feel to it. If I go in with the dark tones like I did with the pencil crayon on the other one, it's probably going to look a bit heavy. So I've got a purple. Look at the state of that nib. I'm just going to see if I can use my fingers to pull some of the scuffy edges off. Yeah, it does look a bit dark. I'm not going to do too much with that. I'm just going to see if I can blend it in. See how I've just softly blended that by working over the top of it. Obviously you can make your nibs quite dirty if you do this. Doesn't matter so much because mine are the oldest set of felt tips in the world. They actually belong to my children. So you begin to see what's happening there. Right, so I'm going to show you something else. So I did the felt tip one, which I was happy with. I've done a felt tip one, but I've left it a little bit more unfinished. I have a little teeny pot of water. It's a shower gel lid that I keep on my desk to use as a teeny water pot. And so these are just standard felt tips. They are not permanent, so they're just normal supermarket type felt tips. Now if they're permanent, this will not work. So if I get a little bit of water, not a lot, on my brush, see how I'm turning the felt tip into ink that moves around just like paint. So into here you can see I'm beginning to paint. It's obviously quite thin, but the more I dab it, the more it saturates into the brush and I can move it around. So I can get a much softer effect than the one that is just a standard felt tip piece of work. You can see I can get a paint quality to it. So it's a good way if you're at home and you don't have any paints at all and you want to give it a try. On Grace and Perry's Art Club this week, if you have seen that, or if you can get it on a catch-up, you'll see that there's an artist that paints with materials in their kitchens. Things like soy sauce, coffee, that type of thing can be used. If you are going to use something in your kitchen though, or a different material in the house, I would like you to check in with the parent so that they know what you're doing and you're not accessing things you shouldn't be. I'm just going to show you that I've worked back into this one with fine liner and then let the water run on it, and it's created this kind of quite loose line, but I can still keep working back into it. I've picked up the pencil crayons again, and you see how I'm beginning to build up further tone. You might think, well, there isn't purple on the sausage, but if you actually start to build it up and explore colour, you'll be able to understand a little bit more about colour and the possibilities. So I'll just quickly build up some more colour into there. The things that you can try out and experiment with. And finally, I'm just going to show you all those images again side by side, so you can see with very limited materials you can really explore some drawing techniques and take them into paint if you want to.